much lower wages and without a lot of the union protections that we have. We wanted an ownership stake in the company. We wanted to change the relationship between union and management so we're all more on the same team. Our industry is in a dire situation and we need to focus on reinventing ourselves and doing a better job with customer service, as Rich says. And by being owners, by having two seats in the board of directors, the other unions will share another seat. We think this is a way to allow for a greater voice in the company and a way to get the ideas from the ground level up to the decision makers. We need to get everybody thinking like an entrepreneur, like Rich is. We need everybody to feel that, to feel it's okay to come up with an idea and bring it to a manager, and that people will be listened to. And I think we created a new culture where that will be allowed. And the International has been very supportive of this. That's why they gave us Chris Mack, who's done a tremendous job over the past year helping us put this together. And urge some of the reporters to take some time to talk to him. This is a potential model for other newspapers around the country who are facing a similar situation. Our contracts need to be modernized to adjust to new economic realities. Well, how do we do that without feeling like we're defeated, that everything's being stripped away from us? Well, an employee stock ownership plan in which we have an ownership stake and seats on the board of directors is a way to make it feel like give a sense of hope, and that's what we have today in the newsroom. People are really, there's some anxiety about the changes, but people are really excited and hopeful, and that's probably the best thing from this deal is that sense of hope. And we also wanted to, another goal, we wanted to use whatever influence we had to get a buyer who can come in here and make money, make profits, and run these newspapers well. And unbelievably, we achieved all those goals. And I don't think people realize just the risk of the chances of success were really so small. And really, that we were able to do this, that Rich was able to buy this paper, that Citizens Bank was able to lend money. I mean, that's just a great story. How many banks are lending money to buy newspapers today? Gene, against the conventional wisdom, while the banker is saying, no, this is, what are you doing? And she has the courage to lend money to Rich to make this whole deal work. I mean, thank you, Gene. That's great. Thank you very much. And also to my colleagues and the other unions, thank you for working with us. We never had all the unions together working so well. And there really is a new sense of hope today. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom and Steve and Gene. While we've all made some sacrifices to make this happen, we're very optimistic about the future. I should point out that there were 31 people across all the companies who lost their jobs last week, many of them in executive positions. There are a couple of things that drove that. One would be money, quite frankly, and the other one would be that we believe in a very, very streamlined executive force where we have several people who do more than one job, and so we need to install that system here. It's also one where all the decisions about this business have to be made in Portland and Augusta and Waterville. There will be nobody calling somebody in another state someplace in a corporate office saying, can we do this, can we do that? We make all the decisions about our businesses right here. And for the time being and the future, that person will be me. So we're very quick. We make decisions quickly. We make changes quickly. We sometimes make mistakes along the way, so we redo them. But we're risk takers. We are adventuresome. And we believe that there is a great market here for newspaper and online readership, and we're positive that we'll grow it, quite frankly. So, but again, it hasn't been without the cost of some jobs. We think, in fact, we will probably have to eliminate more jobs in the future. We hope it will be fewer rather than many. We don't know how many it will be, but we have to make certain that the economic model here, where the expenses are relative to to revenues, which have been declining in newspapers over the last few years, that those two bars come together in a way that makes sense. In order to do that, we'll have to trim some expenses. Having said that, we plan to immediately, I think even tomorrow, you'll see more pages in the Portland Press Herald, for instance, than you've been seeing. We will devote more news to space going forward than the last company has been able to do in the last year. And when I say able, I mean no disrespect by it. Very difficult time for a lot of newspapers, but we've been able to put together a model where in fact we're going to create more space for news in all of our newspapers, and I think our readers and advertisers will see a big difference. Thank you for your time. I'll take questions. It would help if you'd identify where you're from, but that's okay too. So, any questions?
Yes, Jim Keithley with Channel 8. A lot has been said about the fall off of the print readership and the explosion of the internet, and a lot has been said about your business strategy to, if not immediately by the end of this year, to make this profitable. What is the secret to make this online angle of this venture profitable?
Well, online works in combination with print, where you create a total audience. And while we don't have a model per se that we will replicate here in Maine, our paper in Pennsylvania, in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, we have the fourth largest audience growth for online and print combined in the nation. 1,200 daily newspapers. We're one of the smaller ones. So we've done that by having real transparency, a seamlessness between online and print, two forces working together. When you combine them, they're very, very powerful. So we sell advertising in both places. We have content going up immediately. We are, for instance, there redesigning our website as we speak. We almost, quite frankly, redesign it every day because that's a very fast-paced, changing environment. So you can't fight it. You've got to realize that that's new technology, that's new media. But the real power comes when you combine that with a great print publication. You combine the two, that's where you get the audience growth. And we've just been successful doing it. We don't have a real recipe or outline, but we know how to do it, and it's more intuitive and instinctive than anything else. We're news people, and we're content people. So that's what we have to offer people. We understand that, and that's how you build an audience, and you sell that audience to your advertisers. We don't see it as competition at all. We see online as a partner.
Mr. Connor, H.I. Higgins, MPBN. A lot of criticisms of the media today is that the newspapers seem to have gotten away from the things that they did very well. A sort of two-tier approach to reporting that provided competent and adequate general assignment coverage, but then also being able to devote certain reporters to specialty fields, education, the economy, maritime industry, what have you. Is there any road back to newspapers for that model, the model that made them so successful?
He stole our business plan.
I've read about that.
You know, we are old-fashioned newspaper people in a number of ways, but we understand because of the help of people such as my daughter, who's a real expert in online. And both of my kids are very, very humble. I'm not. Someone's got to speak for the family, but we understand, you know, that we've got to be part of the new age. But 41 years ago, this month almost this day, I became an intern at a newspaper in Jackson, Michigan. Couldn't type, had no real interest in journalism. I needed a summer job, not working for my father over in Bangor, who had a small construction company. I didn't realize at that time that I was going to really never come back to Maine full-time again. I've always owned property here, but I haven't lived here full-time since that time, 41 years ago. And I didn't know I was going to find a career that I loved. And so my job that summer, by default, became running the police beat 2 or 3 days a week. So I understand police news. I did obituaries every day. There are those things that you have to do to tell a community and the people who live there, those things that they need to know about where they live. Police news, obituaries, movie times. And then you go beyond those basics of telling people the things that, quite frankly, they can't get anyplace else.